Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Total War Attila, the Eastern Roman Empire, and history. And it looks like the Visigoths are heading west and leaving our territory. That is amazing. I still want to kill them, of course, but it's good that they may not necessarily be going after my towns. That gives me a bit of breathing room. Another thing I want to add is in the previous episode, I mentioned the upper echelons of the Eastern Roman military structure. I will link in that episode, not this one, so you can go back if you haven't seen it already, to the graph image on Wikipedia that I think gives the best visual idea of what that structure looked like. In this episode, when we get a moment, we'll talk about the mid-level officers as opposed to the high-level officers. But first, we are going to end the turn. So directly under the Duces, or the Magister Militums, the Master of Soldiers, were officers called Tribune Comes, or Senior Regimental Commanders. In plural, they were Tribuni Comites, or something of that ilk. And they had a couple jobs. They could be one of four things. They could be the commanders of the Scolae, which are the Emperor's personal guard of cavalry. Sure. You are a puppet state of mind, I believe. They could be the commander of twin regiments, or two regiments that fought together. And I guess we could take a break to discuss what a regiment is. He successfully did what? He targeted the Emperor's Legion with misdirection. Does that mean they can't move? They appear to be able to move. So a regiment was, depending on whether it was limitane or comitatenses, or whether it was infantry or cavalry or some kind of auxiliary, it could vary, but generally they ranged from about 100 to 1,000 men. Typically for the spear and infantry units, they were like 500 to 1,000 men. So you figure one of these tribunes comes would be in charge of about 1,000 to 2,000 men. Okay, you're fine where you are. You can make it to the Emperor. You know what? Let's just do it. We don't have to move out until next turn, and then we'll have a huge stack that we can do amazing things with. Okay, we can't have everybody. Well, we have plenty of spearmen, I think. So let's just put the non-spears. And you, what is your special skill? You're a fighter, so you're good at recruiting units, so I kind of want to keep you around too. What's your special skill? You're another handler. Okay, so we don't need you. In fact, we'll keep you. We don't need this guy. Flavius Abundatius. So now, you will hang out in Constantinople, and you will raise troops, and they will be great troops. And we're going to move out. 19 of 20, I think, is pretty good. And obviously, we're a heavily infantry-based army right now, which is not great. I'd like to see more cavalry as time goes on, but we simply can't afford it right now. So, how are my building projects going here? I can upgrade this to latrines or reservoir. Now, the difference here is this provides sanitation and public order, whereas this provides sanitation to all regions in the province, meaning Constantia, and roads as well, meaning I won't have to buy special sanitation buildings for them in addition. Actually, never mind. They both do that. The difference is this provides public order and this provides growth. It's funny that you have to choose between fresh drinking water or toilets. But we're going to go with fresh drinking water and public order. Okay. You were going to do your little dance again?
On the move.
Oh, and also, I wanted to say,
Ready for order.
be sure to, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. You know, I was answering questions,
Battle.
but now I think about it, I'm like, that's kind of not the best idea. I should keep the questions and answer them in a video. So that way we can have some frequently asked questions, videos, or whatnot. So for those of you who just have questions about this time period of the Eastern Romans, go ahead and ask them. And for those of you who know a lot about this, maybe I know some of the people who watch this are history-inclined people or even history teachers, go ahead and suggest topics that you think I should cover. That would be great. Help me kind of organize things.
We hunger for battle.
All right, I think that's really all we need to do right now. Should we do anything? Well, we could improve the church here, but the sanitation here is pretty crap. So maybe a waterworks would be a useful situation here. All right, excellent. Let's end the turn. So underneath the... Oh, I'm sorry. We still haven't gone through all the things that the Tribunus Comes could be. We mentioned the leader of 2 twin brigades. We mentioned the commander of the Scalae. But they could also be a staff officer of the emperor or high-ranking generals. So they don't necessarily command troops themselves, but they take on special missions or just work alongside the general in some capacity or other. And finally, they could be the commander of the Comes Domesticorum, which is an elite guard that served as the bodyguard and kind of special unit around the emperor. Now, I'm not talking about like Varangians, like a military unit. I'm talking about like these are important people that hung out around the emperor. So they were kind of his bodyguard, but they weren't like a military unit as such. They were like staff officers to the emperor, and they typically were young sons of high-ranking military officials that were intended after a few years to go on and lead their own armies or squads or regiments at some point themselves. He sired an illegitimate son, Rufinus. Man, you couldn't just keep in your pants. So, what's notable about that position, the Comes Domesticorum, is that one of our primary sources, Ammianus Marcellinus, he was one of those guys for a while. That's what his role was. And he mentions it in his book, where he's traveling around with this general Ursinicus or something along those lines, and he was a member of that, the Comes Domesticorum. He might have even been it for the emperor later on. Can we get all the way to these guys? So those were the 4 particular job types that you could be if you were the rank of Tribunus Comes, or again, the plural is Tribuni Comtes. Alright, so they ran away from us. That's good. That's really good. So we can go in and help our buddies, take them out, the emperor will get some experience, and life will be beautiful. You gained an artist. That gives you public order. I like that. Ooh, someone gained a rank, too. What I love about this game, I will tell you, is when you go to end a turn, it will remind you if you need to do anything. Like if anybody needs to have a rank added to them, or if you need to do your research. I find that very helpful.
Ready for further orders.
Alright, you are the Constantinople guy. You're recruiting troops, but maybe not this turn. Let's just keep you from getting bad traits. So let's like run you around. I know this is lame, but you gotta do it. Or they get the trait called Procrastinator.
What does Rome require of me?
Oh, that's right. You were supposed to give troops to the Emperor. But he's already outside of you, and you can't really give him troops anyways. So, what was your deal again? Oh, you were the handler, right? You were handler part 2? Yeah. So let's put you somewhere. Where can we recruit agents? We're not going to be doing so right away, but we can recruit. So in Syria, we can do priests and that's it. In Thracia, we can do priests and veterans. So you could hang out like in Tremontium, though it wouldn't be very safe for you. Palestina is just priests. Cappadocia is just spies. So that kind of sucks. We really want you to be in Thracia, which, by the way, is under consumption right now from all the raiding. I don't want to spend money here because it's just getting trashed. What is this? Better military? That would be good. But what we really need is a health building. And these, I don't want to build anything here because they're just so threatened. But maybe Tremontium, we could build a health building. A fountain. It's not as good as a waterworks, but can it be upgraded? It can. Bathhouse, Balney, and Thermi. Okay, let's do it. Fountain. And we do have some more money. So let's go back to the islands. And can we upgrade anything here? Maybe another sheep flock? Let's do that. Okay. Oh, we still have some money to spend, do we? Well, trade jetties. Okay, excellent. So now we're looking good. And Parthian Legion, we'll move you back and forth.
I want hourly patrols. How can I serve the people of Rome? Commander.
Okay, and you... I guess we will set you in Tremontium just for now. So, remember I mentioned that one of the Comitatensis units was stationed in Marcianopolis. Another was stationed in Sirmium, which right now belongs to the west. And I've seen pictures like in Treadgold where it's in the west too. So maybe they mean Viminacium or in the vicinity of Sirmium. And then finally, the one of the east was in Antioch. And the Comus Rei Militaris was in Alexandria or Egypt. And the other one was here around Tarsus. But not really, though, around these mountains. This was Isauria. This was Cilicia. The mountain area was what Isauria was. So I guess that's that. See? This character has an unassigned skill. You are misshapen. Oh my gosh. -1 public order and -1 authority. That's not good. You're good at recruiting cavalry. It's kind of worthless to me. But we'll give you some integrity and authority, and then we'll get some public order bonus for wherever you are. That's one thing I wish you could do. I wish you could find out where these guys are. It says governor, right? But why don't you tell me what he's governor of? That would be really helpful to me. Because otherwise I have to like look around until he's Gaius Aufidus. So like, okay. Oh, look at that. That's our illegitimate daughter. Where is this guy? Oh. No? Well, this is him, I guess. He's the governor of Asia. Okay, he's the guy we're going to be recruiting cavalry from at some point. Alright, fine. How's my family doing? Everybody's solid. Our dominion is really low, 24%, but our power is actually pretty low too. Control is high. How do we... Not sure how to raise power, but I think the Emperor winning battles will take us a long way toward that. So underneath the Tribuni Comites were a group of people called just Tribuni, or Tribunus, as a singular. And they were basically exactly what it is. They were in charge of one regiment. And when they served for the Comitatenses, they were referred to as Tribuni, but when they served the Limitane, in most cases they were referred to as Praefectus. And that's pretty much the lowest level of mid-level officer corps, with the exception of one group of people called Protectores, which were a less prestigious, I guess, version of the Comes Domesticorum. So they were like young nobles or sons of high officers that were hanging around with a regiment in a young leadership position to learn the ropes, so that at some point in a couple of years they'd be able to go off and lead their own regiment. Good omen. Public order +2. I like that. Alright. We might see battle in this episode.
That is impossible.
Or we might not. But we will eventually, hopefully, with great prejudice, crush the Visigoths. That would be a good day for me. Alright, let's see. Can we get some cavalry here in Asia? What would I need for that? I don't think, yeah, I can't afford it right now. We need 7 population, or at least 4 surplus population, which we can do by building latrines, which will improve growth, and to a lesser degree, sanitation. How are we doing in the islands? Has that farm field been built yet? It has. Let's get some sheeps. And I did that on purpose this time. And upgrade the town. Alright, good. Research. Okay, so we have our Protectores Domestici. Or Domestici. I don't know. This would take 5 turns and increases battle movement speed plus 5%. This will just increase ammunition. I don't have a ton of archers, but it does let us build better armor buildings. And this is one of my... It's not a gripe necessarily, but it's just tough, where the armor and blacksmith are completely separate trees. So if you want your troops to have both good weapons and good armor, you have to kind of build them both in the same province, which takes up a sanitation building or a money-generating building or a church. But we're just going to go with this. Okay.
What does Rome require of me?
We can raise these guys up. But it seems to me like these guys, this guy's Garama, they're being pretty
For more orders.
laid back. They're not causing too many troubles.
Battle.
You are going to stay where you are. Eventually, you're going to start raising
As the angels
high morale and experienced troops. But for right now,
set up the watch.
you're just hanging out. You are going to...
Get to it, men.
You're just going to go kind of on the rounds.
What does Rome require of me?
But I want you to
Is that all?
stay mostly in Thracia.
We hunger for battle.
And you are going to shimmy between Edessa and Amida.
We hunger for battle. Ready for orders.
Alright. Oh, look at this. Eutropius. So Eutropius actually is a eunuch, and he, historically, was the one who took over advising the Emperor Arcadius after Rufinus died. Rufinus was assassinated by Stilicho, the general of the West, who was kind of controlling the Emperor. I'm going to have you increase research and your integrity. What is this? Oh, yes. Definitely going to give you the artist to improve your public order of Egypt, because Egypt is a money maker. You are also a scholar. I think you're the governor of Syria? Was that you? We'll give you good public order wherever you are. And you are stupid. That sucks. Wealth from cultural buildings. So you're the governor of Thracia. So we'll do that. We'll give you some authority. Okay, lovely. More wealth. Makes Marcus a happy guy. All right. So just as a quick summary, as far as the mid-level officers go, on the top you have the Tribunus Comes, or the Tribuni Comites in plural. Underneath them you have the regular Tribunus, or Tribuni, and underneath them you have the Protectores. But they weren't technically, I mean, they were just hanging around the units to kind of get an idea of what it was like. Alright, well, it looks like we have a big battle ahead. I have every confidence we'll do well, even though the odds are predicted to be against us slightly, or a lot, depending on... This is kind of the gray area where your general thinks this is roughly the situation, so it could be down here or it could be up here. But I think we will prevail. So next episode, we will fight this battle. Once again, I am Marcus Aurelius. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.